Let's move on to our next conversation as we cap off the show. Of course, we'll wait to see whether he can provide evidence to that effect. But 9 people have been killed, at least 9, have been killed in an attack in the Upper East regional town of Pusiga, in what is believed to be related to the chieftaincy conflict in neighboring Boku. The attack is said to have occurred this morning when heavily armed men ambushed a convoy of police personnel escorting traders from Boku to Sinkasi in Togo. It's not actually this morning. But joining us for that conversation, we have Awal Ahmed Karyama, Executive Director, Rise Ghana, and Albert Sori, our Upper East correspondent. Albert Sori, if you can hear me, what is the very latest you can report to me on that incident before I move on to Awal?
Yes, Ben. So you just read that the incident took place this morning. It was actually yesterday.
Yes, morning. I actually just corrected that. I mentioned that it wasn't actually this morning.
So the latest is that the death toll from our police sources is that it is now 10 people. As an update from what the 9 that we reported yesterday. And that is the situation. As we speak, they haven't yet been able to arrest any culprit. Some more people are still in hospital following the injuries that they had from that attack yesterday morning. And so that is the current situation.
Let me bring in Awal Ahmed Karyama. Do hold for me, Albert Sori. Awal. So on the back of these developments, I mean, what do you make of this standoff and now the carnage, if you like, the many people who have died and counting?
Yes, so good morning to your viewers as well as those who are streaming with us via other mediums. And then I think that it's unfortunate that this situation has come, and it's a bit of a shock to everybody considering the progress that the place have had in terms of the peace over the period of time. So we've had a relative calm in the area, and it's so shocking to realize that all of a sudden the situation has gone to deteriorate like this. So this is an unfortunate incident, and if depending on the way the response mechanism is executed, it can worsen the situation and delay the peace process and the relative calm the area is already experiencing for now.
I'll come back to you shortly. Albert, sorry, how long has this chieftaincy dispute festered? How long has it gone on?
Well, it resurfaced sometime in 2021, and that is how long the recent resurgence of this conflict has been. And this will not be the first time that a bus or a vehicle has been ambushed outside of Boko. Earlier this year, we had reports of similar incidents in Binduri, in Waliwali, and other places where traveling vehicles suspected to be traveling outside of Boko to other parts of the country were ambushed and attacked. And so that is the situation. What we understand is that probably these kinds of attacks are happening because the security in Boko has become tighter, and people feel that in order to be able to attack, presumably their enemies, they will have to take advantage of certain obscure.
We seem to be losing Albert. Sorry, I'd wanted to find out. Of course, we know the Boku situation has been a long-lasting, situation. I'd wanted to find out whether this chieftaincy dispute is essentially tied to what is happening or what has been happening in Boku. Albert, sorry, I believe you can hear me now. Is this situation tied essentially to the dispute in Boku proper, Boku itself?
What the authorities are telling us is that that is what they suspect, because when this bus was attacked yesterday, it is not known if it was robbery, because nothing was taken from the traders. But that could also be because the attackers may have tried to escape, before help arrived. But
We seem to be losing Albert. Sorry. Let me go to Awal Ahmed Kariama.
From our interactions with authorities, our sources in the police, what they are telling to the existing chieftaincy conflict in Boko, because the bus in which these travelers were traveling was coming from Boko and traveling to Senkasi. So they were ambushed on the way. And so the suspicion is that this could be related to the conflict in Boko, but for now, they cannot say for sure until investigations are concluded.
Awal, how much of a worry is it that these instances keep happening on some stretches in the region? In recent times, we heard of other stretches that had also, met with similar incidents. What is your reaction to that, and what do you think the way should be moving forward?
Yes, so I think that is a very serious source of worry for all of us who are watching the Boko situation, and it speaks volumes as to how we are approaching the security and peace and the human rights of the people of Boko. I mean, the situation has to do beyond just keeping the security of the place, about the obligation of the state in terms of the morally and legally to uphold and protect the rights of the citizens of Boko. I mean, under no circumstance should anybody going about their business should be accosted and shot and killed. And this has not happened once, it has not happened twice. And so the intelligence gathering in the area is poor. And we need to talk about the fact that when these instances happen, we are quick to do a form of firefighting. The intelligence always is, before some of these things happen, there are informations, there are intelligence, some of the security get to know about this. If you monitor social media closely, you will see a series of posts relating to some events that are going to happen or some events that have been happening. And so I think that the security in terms of their intelligence should be able to track some of these social media operators, some of these warmongers, and to track them. We have seen and we have heard viral audios from notable persons consistently promoting that a certain hate agenda against various ethnic groups. And we have seen with time, there is a regular pattern. When these things allegations are made, they go out and you see them just like seasonal movies happening out. Yet the security is not taking action to be able to prevent these things from happening. When you do a map of the area, you clearly can tell that majority of the attacks and the ambushes happen within the outskirts of the area.
Right.
The security to prevent some of these things from happening. And in fact,
so you feel the police, for example, is not doing enough to securitize the area?
Not just the police, but there's the military as well.
Right.
And I must say that both of them need to work in consonance to be able to prevent some of these things from happening. For instance, the yesterday's attack, from the information we are picking, there was one military vehicle, one police vehicle, escorting these people. But the firepower of the attackers were definitely more than the police officers. So ideally, considering the situation in Boko, you would have expected that there will be one police vehicle in front, one at the back, and with enough firepower on the police vehicle to deter. And the problem is that when these things happen, I mean, the Pusiga district is a smaller district compared to Boko. And if you are talking about 10 gunmen in a small district like Pusiga, and that up to now we have not been able to effect any arrest, then it's serious. And some of us have mentioned in other discussions that Boko is becoming the weakest link in terms of the danger of people taking advantage to destabilize our whole country.
Insurgency.
And we are saying that, yes, insurgency. Boko there are grievances that are unresolved. If a particular group of people feel that their rights are being trampled upon, they're unable to go about their business, they're unable to exercise their rights to free movement, then somebody comes to build on that grievance that has not been addressed. Then it creates a system where people are able to create confusion and sustain. And I must put it in context that we need to begin to see the issue of Boko as a serious act of violent extremism. If not violent extremism, what will make a group of people get up and take weapons, sophisticated weapons, and accost people who are traveling and just shoot at them? So increasingly, we are not paying attention to Boko, and we are appeasing the sections that are involved in this conflict. And I want to send a very strong signal to political leaders, duty bearers who are responsible for the peace and security of the area, that they should remember the old English adage that says that An appeaser is someone who feeds a crocodile, hoping it will eat on him last. So they keep appeasing the various sections in this conflict, hoping that they are doing their bidding and things, but they will turn their weapons against them.
Right.
And we have seen recent threats against political figures in the area.
Well,
and so we must understand that everybody is at stake, is at risk.
All right. Awal, thank you so much for joining the conversation. Awal Ahmed Karyama, Executive Director, Rise Ghana. And of course, we had our correspondent from the Upper East region, Albert Sori, joining the conversation as well.